In identify, what we are going to do here? Identify the failure mode. What are we going to assess? There is always an effect of failure. The third thing is you have to assess the causes and occurrence. See, the first is a failure has happened. Then you need to identify what is the effect and severity of the failure. And then you need to identify the causes for this failure. You should also identify how frequently it comes. So causes and occurrence. Effect is associated with severity, causes is and control and detection. Because once you identify the causes, you need to control that. The type of control will explain how effective you can detect it. So control and detections are associated. Then you should evaluate the risk. Now, in identification of the failure mode, then assessment, you should see what is the effect of that failure and what is the severity, impact of that, and what are the causes and how frequently it happens, and how do you control it, whether can you detect it if it occurs, and then evaluate the current risk. Okay? And finally, the action plan. And also, after you implement it, whether the risk is reduced or not. Now, normally in my direct training classes, the way that I ask them to do is, I ask them to write, it is left to you. This is my way of communication. I say I1, A4, and C2. I1 means identify the failure mode. That is one category under this. And assess effect, causes, control, and current risk. In control, action plans and future risk. Just to remember, out of the 7 steps, identify 1 step, assess 4 steps, and control 2 steps. So the output of each step is captured in the worksheet. So the failure mode means how could a product or process fail to meet the requirement. Failure mode is so and so. So failure mode is, you should ask this question. Process means how could the process fail to meet its requirement, and this is filled in this place. I'll explain the overview today. Then effects and severity. Now that the failure has happened, what is the effect of that? What is the impact of that? Okay, what effect does it have and how severe it is? And that is actually explained here. And the rating, severity rating is given in this place. Effects and severity. Third thing is, so the question that we ask is, if the failure did happen, what would be the potential result? And how bad it would be? Third one, causes and occurrence we write in the next column. The question that we ask here is, what are the potential reasons for the failure? Now, causes are related to failure modes. Causes are not related to effect. And how likely? Because people do a mistake of identifying based on the effect, okay? Causes are related to failure modes. So what are the potential reasons for the failure? And how likely is the word there? Or what frequency do they happen? Control and detection. So control method is written here, and then the detection number is written here. The question that we ask is, I will take one example, show this full slide and explain line by line, okay, with another example. What specified control activity is currently in place? Now that you know the causes, but what are the specified control activity that is currently in place and how effective it is that control method. And we know the current risk Can we measure the risk and identify areas for attention? So severity into occurrence into detection, and then finally, we come with action plans. And the question we ask is, what action will address the key risks and how they will be managed? Then after you implement this, you have to calculate the future risk also. So if the 7 steps are clear, we will of course share with an example to go into the detail. So after the action, what was achieved and who else could benefit from this change?